We all know you're trying to bring that.
Thank you all.
Where are you going to watch the
We all
game?
know you're trying to bring that swag back to Miami. Can you tell us a little bit about what went into that decision to do that what you did in Orlando?
That was just uh, really about just reaching out to the high school coaches. Um, that's probably the top clinic in our state every year where all the high school coaches come and gather. And we just simply wanted a presence. We'd not been there the last 3 years, and just a way to be able to, rub shoulders with those guys and let them know that we care about them, and let them know that we're, we want to, we feel like we have to recruit this state better than what we have. It's been a little bit up and down, and that's really all that we were trying to accomplish that weekend.
Surprised you got the not backlash, but just the attention that it got. I mean, you guys had a suite, right? I mean, don't you do that at a lot of?
It wasn't. We didn't even have a suite. It's a lot of it was really, to be honest, was internet based, and a story went out that for every 5 facts, 2 or 3 on average were true, and it's fine. It just turns into a legend, and But I think the point was just to show the high school coaches that we're here for them, and that we want to know that we're engaged with them.
And what's your thought on the reports that you guys might move the Florida game up a week? Would that affect? I mean, obviously it's a week before, but you get an extra week before practice. But what's your thought on that whole thing?
We'll play when they tell us to play.
Yeah.
So it's out of our hands, and I think our guys will be ready to play whenever they tell us to go play.
How are you excited about you for that? And playing Florida's opener.
It's why you come to Miami, to play in games like that.
Cool. And how have these last months been for you? I mean, it's been obviously a whirlwind with the bowl game and the temple and the recruiting, and my goodness,
it's been busy, for sure, but it's been fun. We have a great staff, who's really working hard to build something that we want. But more importantly, it's the players in the locker room, and those guys have really bought into what we're doing. Because the momentum is fun, but ultimately the games are coming. And if the guys in the locker room aren't seeing the real tangible growth, if they're not seeing the real tangible difference in our program, then ultimately it's just sayings and slogans. So I think the morale and the mentality amongst the team is where we want to be. We're about a week and a half away from spring practice, and it'll be great to get out on the field and get a ball and see what we're all about.
As an evaluator of talent, what impresses you most about hockey players and what they can do?
Well, toughness, right? 2 games really defined by toughness, and the effort and intensity that both sports have to be played with. But on that ice, I don't know if people really realize how strenuous it is, and how hard you really have to work chasing the puck around, and what that does to your lower body, and then the fact you do it over a course of 82 games, or when you're talking about a playoff series and the intensity of that over 7 games over a 14, 15 day span. So, coaches respect toughness, right? And football players, of course, I say that, of all the sports, the physicality and the hitting, hockey and football is kind of where you find it. So I think there's always been a little mutual respect.
Every locker room in hockey, after every game, most teams, they have a player of the game personal award. For us, it's a rugby ball. Guys get it. They spike it. Obviously, has the turnover chain. How much do you think little things like that motivate guys in the grand scheme of things?
People, the world responds to incentive, and incentives can even be, silly, but when you have it, you recognize, and we all want a little bit of recognition. We have a hammer for the biggest hit, so we have the chain. We also have a hammer. Those guys, they want that hammer. So it's silly, but you know what? When you put value on something, if you want it, you measure it, and to have something like that, I think it's good for the team.
Do you think Barkov would make a good quarterback?
He can do a lot of things. His dexterity and his hand-eye coordination is impressive.
With spring practice coming up, anybody you're really looking forward to seeing? I mean, you've got so many new transfers, so many freshmen coming in, that kind of thing.
I think the most important thing with the entire team is that everyone has a fresh start. And even though we have more familiarity on the defensive side of the ball, I don't want that feeling. Actually, I want everyone to feel like they're at a new school, having to start from scratch to impress all of the coaches. I don't want anyone to have status, to feel like they really belong, and they already know their way around. I want everyone to come in as if they're all freshman year again, and earn their place on the team. So I think we will have a great competition all over, really at all 22 spots on the depth chart.
And Tate Martell, anything new on him? Have you heard anything from the NCAA?
Nothing to report, but we'll all find out together.
Is it exciting dropping the puck?
That was pretty cool. those are two pretty big dudes out there. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to mess it up. So yeah, that was. Luckily, gravity wins, right? The puck's gonna go. It's gonna go to the area. So gravity was my ally on that one.
And any rush on the recruiting stuff? The 3 guys that you need to replace? Anything new on that?
You may hear something about that this week.
Okay.
Yeah, we're close to having that settled.